Hello, hello, hello. In today's video I'm going to be painting up the Leagues of Votann side of the new Kill Team Termination. You may notice that some of their heads are not attached. That's because I'm going to be doing all the heads with flesh and skin exposed separately at the end. Other than that, let's get into it.
So to start off this paint job, for some reason I decided to start on the inner linings of their coats. To achieve this look I did a sort of darkish tan, greyish tan over them, and then I sort of dabbed on a lighter tan. This makes it look a little fuzzy, a little fluffy, all nice and cosy. I then went over with some browns, just getting progressively lighter for the rest of the coat to give it a sort of leathery look. And on the big main guy, he's got a sort of cape, so I just did that in black and highlighted it with grey. After this, it was onto their sort of jumpsuit thingies. I did this orange, starting off with a sort of reddish orange, dark reddish orange, moving to a bright orange. After this, I moved on to the metallics, which was mainly gold on stuff like their knife sheaths and some decoration bits on them. This wasn't too hard, just staying within sort of browny yellows and getting progressively lighter. Then for their over armour, I know it's already white, but I decided to paint it white again, and then just use a watered down grey paint to add some shade to those recesses. After this, I gave their boots and knee pads a black and highlighted with just a little bit of grey. Then all that was left was their weapons and heads. For the heads of the green guys, I just did a dark green over all of it, and then moved into a medium green, making sure to get the medium green all around the areas where light would be hitting. I want these guys to kind of glow, and then putting a very sort of light lime green over just the tops of their heads. After this I was getting a tad lazy, so with the guns I just did a sort of black wash followed by metallic dry brush, and then another sort of bluey black wash in some recesses. Then the only weapons left were swords, which I wanted to do this sort of lava effect that I've seen people do, but mine ended up looking like rocket lollies.
So now that I've painted all the guys, all that's left to do is the heads. I've stuck them all on this stick just so that it's easier to prime them without them blowing all over the place. So I've got a red and a white, which you can't, and a white, there we go, also out of focus, doesn't matter. I'm going to prime them red and then zenithal with the white, and I'm sort of going to paint them like I painted my Felgor Ravengers in this video. Put the thing up, it doesn't matter. And yeah, and then I'm going to paint the skin. These are all the faces with skin, the ones without skin I left on. But I don't know why I put some of these on here, like the guy with the hood has his nose and lips out and that's it. But nonetheless, let's get into it. You'll see me in a sec. Bye!
After zenithaling the faces, it was quite simple to paint them. I just took a sort of reddish wash over all the areas where there's skin, and then I just threw on a tan paint in the highlight areas, like on top of their noses, top of their cheekbones, and I mean that was pretty much it. It looked pretty good. I then did all the little extra details like their beards and hats, but yeah, here's the finished product for their heads. They look pretty good.
Hello, me here. Here they are, they look cool, everyone loves them, blah blah blah, but they're not done yet. All that's left is their bases. Now for my little, whatever they're called, League of Votann, that's it, I usually give them Mars bases. However, I've only done this one. I'm not quite happy with it, you know? The rock definitely is not the best, and the craggly earth sort of stuff, it's, I'm not 100% sold on it as their base. However, recently I painted up a Felgor Ravenger kill team, and as you can see here, I gave them these sort of hell bases, so all these jagged rocks and red with skulls, and I think this looks much cooler. So what I'm thinking is, for these guys, I'm going to give them this base, but without all the spiky, jaggedy rocks, and maybe more orange than red. But I mean, I think that should look pretty cool, so let's get into it. Bye. So I'm going to start off by smushing in some sort of what am I on about? Gluing on some cork, just to add sort of, you know, rock. Because, as we all know, Mars is a very rocky planet. I think it's going to go at sort of an angle. And then when I'm done with this, I'm going to put clay on top. So the clay will be like the sand, and this will be like rocks underneath the sand. I hope what I said made sense. I don't think it did, but I hope it did. Yeah. Then you just smoosh the clay in. As you can see here, it's sort of going to leave a sort of, if it would focus, there we go, it's going to look all nice and sandy like a little dune, and then there's going to be rocks sticking out, which is just what I'm going for. Make sure it forms properly around that rock. And you want to apply some sandy texture paste all over. Avoid where you've imprinted their feet in the clay, as you can see there. Then add just a little bit of sand. Okay, so next I want to try something. I've got this technical paint from Games Workshop, Martian Iron Earth, which I believe gives it a sort of crackly effect. So I'm going to put it on here too, and you may be saying, you idiot, what's the point in putting on a sandy texture paste if you're then going to put on a crackly texture paste? Well, open. There you go. Well, quite simply, is it meant to look like that? Maybe if I just dip in there. There we go. I'm not putting this on the whole base. I'm just going to sort of add some dollops here, because I'm priming over this, so it doesn't matter how it looks. I'm just going to put some big dollops down. I haven't used a texture paste in a while, or a Games Workshop one. Sorry, I haven't used a crackle one in a while. I don't know how you're supposed to do it. Just, what is going on with my brush? Look at that. I'm just going to sort of blob it down and hope it causes some cracks and irregularities. And hopefully that'll look cool when it dries. Yeah. Okay, so I'm back. It's the next day. I let them dry overnight. And they're not the biggest success. But not everything has to be a big success. Just look at my hydro dipping video. As you can see, on some of them, if it would focus, the texture paste hasn't crackled at all. And on other ones, it's crackled ever so slightly, which is, it's not complete failure then, which is nice. But, I mean, yeah, I think we should get into priming now, and then we should be good. I've got black spray paint, and then I've got red spray paint. I'm going to prime them black, and then do red over top of that, and a little zenithal. And hopefully that'll make them look all reddish, and then I'll probably do an orange dry brush, and I think that should look like Mars.
One orange dry brush later, and they're done. I'm really happy with how they came out. The one in the dark blue beanie is my favourite. I was a tad nervous to do human faces, as it hasn't gone the best for me in the past, especially the eyeballs, but I found just not painting the eyeballs is much easier and it looks way better. But yeah, they look great. I'm really happy with them. Subscribe if you'd like to, and I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.